And it was a very frowned upon thing. People fought it because it was an attack on someone's absolute right to do whatever they wanted with the property. Well, sooner or later, finally, as this country grew up a little bit and people became a little more sophisticated, they realized that the historic treasures that they live with as part of the fabric of the city were very valuable to the whole community, not just the private individual. And for years and years, up until about 15 years ago, there was no protection and no benefit for preserving the house. But then finally the cities began to realize and the state began to realize that we have priceless assets. We need to give some advantage to the owners. So they passed the Mills Act, which was the first actual law that said that if you own these properties and you restore them properly, according to the Secretary of Interior's guidelines, you can take about half of your taxes. We'll give you half of your taxes back to do that work. So there was, for the first time, a concrete advantage to being a preservationist.
Only 15 years ago?
Only about 15 years ago.
And so if people buy the house like this, they are not allowed to change anything?
Interior, it depends upon individual properties, but interior-wise, certain changes are allowed, but when you're on the register, you would have a very difficult time to make any changes to the exterior.
And so the owner is responsible for that?
Yes.
For example, if you sell the house to someone who destroys someone, are you somehow responsible or not?
We had a buyer about a year ago for the house who was from Egypt, and she came just before the Arab Spring. And she wanted to buy this house because her daughters were going to school in this country and in this state. And she made an offer, but she wanted to change the kitchen and change the bathrooms because they weren't elegant enough for her, and she was a decorator. This was dangerous. But fortunately, things changed, and we're still looking for the right curator and owner of this house who will accept it with the advantages and the situation of living within a house